Hello, everybody. Welcome. This is Carl's Roller Coaster Podcast. Yo, Joe.
Hey, mate. How's it going?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, thanks. I'm all good.
Yeah. Wow. What a delightful image I'm having of you here now. It's coming in very nice and clear.
Good. Glad to hear it.
And so good, man. I mean, I get to speak to you 2 days in a row.
I know, right? What a pleasant surprise.
Right? Brilliant.
Love it. Love it when a plan comes together.
Absolutely. Joe, brother, so welcome to the roller coaster, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
I'm just gonna, this is a free flow conversation. We're gonna talk a little bit about upbringing, your life into music, general topics about life in general and things that, I'm curious about.
Yeah.
So without further ado, if you could just tell us, the listeners, where did you grow up? And, when did you first get in contact with a drum kit and started playing the drums?
Wow. It all started really when I was 4 years old. And I went to watch Maiden at Donington Monsters of Rock, 1992. And just randomly, Nico's drum tech. I was there, obviously, Steve being my uncle, so I was hanging out around the stage and stuff. And back then, you can't really do it so much these days, but back then you could go and hang out on the stage kind of thing. There'd be like a place for all the family to watch and stuff. And Nico's drum tech just kind of took me around the back of his kit. And I remember this big curtain opening. And then there he was playing the drums. And then I just watched the whole... most of the gig, just from behind his kit, and I was just mesmerised. It's one of my first memories of being there, just sat there watching him, and I was like, that looks so much fun. That just looks so cool, what he's doing with his arms and his legs. And obviously being a 4-year-old, his kit is obviously massive anyway, but as a 4-year-old, it's just monstrous. And yeah, I just didn't take my eyes off him the whole time. I was like, this is amazing. And then, and I was hooked from that point. I was like, right, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. So I asked my mum and dad for a drum kit immediately, and then got one for Christmas that year. And then that was it. I was just hooked and transfixed, and that was it. That was my path. I was like, right, I'm playing drums. And just used to watch Nico and study him, and then get into other drummers like John Bonham and just soak it all up. As when you're a kid, your mind's like a sponge. So it was all going in. Nothing else mattered. It was just like, right, I want to play drums.
But you're so little when it happened, which I think it's a massive privilege, because a lot of people go through life not knowing what they like or what they want to do, and they just end up in a random career because they just come out of uni and have to make a living out of something. And so in many senses that's like a huge privilege that we know sometimes people might just take for granted, the fact that you have a passion, that you got this experience that brought this love for music, and in particular the drum kit, playing the drums, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm very lucky to have supportive parents and be like. I remember I asked my mum not that long ago. I was like, "What made you sort of let me get a drum kit at 4 years old?" Because it's not back then. There was no electric drum kits. They didn't exist. So. So it's not a very convenient instrument to be learning on. Obviously it makes a lot of noise, and I would have made a racket. So, and I was like, oh, what made you kind of get it and be like, all right, give it a go, kind of thing? And she was like, well, obviously I'm never going to get to the heights of Steve, but she was like, well, if my brother can make it, then maybe my son can. So we'll give it a go. So, and obviously I was completely. Some people, they'll get a drum kit or guitar and then then they get distractions and they're just not. They go through phases and waves of being into it and then not. But I was just so into it from the get-go that nothing else mattered. So, but yeah, I know people I went to school with that, you know, would have loved to have played a music instrument, but the parents just either were like, no, that's not what we want you to do, or couldn't, you know, afford it, or it wasn't convenient, you know, space-wise or whatever, because drums, you know, they take up a lot of room. But yeah, I'm just very fortunate that I was given a platform to be like, yeah, just, you know, give it a go.
And it's interesting. You said that you're very driven, but you still are. All of those years, you know, the drums is since I've known you for like many years now, and it has always been the center point for you. You know, I don't recollect yourself being involved on anything other than music and producing music and working behind the drum kit. So that's really incredible, because I was going to ask you, like, going through the school years, you know, like having exams and all of that, because that's a part of life that it's really important for parents, you know. So they will be like, I mean, if you're not doing good in school, we might just, I don't know. Have you ever faced any period of your life that your parents would be like that to you in a way?
No, I mean, like, my mum always knew what I wanted to do, and she was very supportive. She was like, she obviously wanted me to do well in school, and I did okay. I mean, I didn't listen as much as I should have done, and I totally blagged the exams because I just wasn't interested in any of that. I knew I wasn't going to go to college or uni or any of that further education. But my mum just knew that. She was like, well, what's the point in making you do something you don't want to do? So I did what I needed to do, which was the bare minimum. But all the while she knew that I wanted to just do drums, and she was very supportive. And like my younger sister Kelly, she's the academic one. She did, like, she got degrees and she did all of that. She's a very intelligent girl. She has all the intelligence. I didn't have any of that, but I was just into the drums, and that was it. I've always been that way. But I'm glad. That's nice of you to point that out. I'm glad that you think that, because it has been my main thing, and it always will be. That's a nice thing. If you think of me, you think of drums, that's a good thing, you know, so that's good.
100%, yeah. But you went to university, Salford, did you? No,
I didn't go to university. I just went to school in well, it's a place called Sawbridgeworth. It's near Harlow.
Okay.
So I grew up in Essex. So I went to a secondary school there called Leaventhorpe, and then when I left at 16 after my exams, that was it. I was just obviously working little jobs and stuff. I was joining bands. I joined my first band when I was 15, and
I was going to say, where did you meet the guys from Oceansize? When did that happen?
So, my old band...
That was the very first band that you've had. Am I right?
Well, no, I wasn't in Oceansize. I supported them, but I play drums for Mike Vennart now, who was the lead singer and guitar player for Oceansize.
Yeah.
So, but my first band, the Worldonfire, we supported Oceansize once.
Worldonfire, that's the one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I supported Oceansize, got friendly with Mike, and then you know how these things go. You kind of you connect with someone, and you know then he asked me to then play drums on a side project of his, and then I ended up playing for his solo projects and other bits and pieces, and now I'm basically his guy, which is great. You know, any project he does, you know, he calls me up and gets me involved, which is awesome, because he's a hero of mine. Oceansize are one of my favorite bands ever. So, very fortunate.
I mean, you have been involved in so many different projects and playing with so many different people. I mean, you're very skilled because you can fit so many different. You play mainly rock, but then you can play metal, and you do all of those videos, you know, that I find really amusing, because I just saw today you posted something about playing, you know, in memory of Taylor Hawkins. So you're playing the Foo Fighters, and you're playing Maiden, and you're playing Oceansize, and then like you can basically navigate so many different areas of rhythms and things like that. And I'm wondering, you're self-taught? Have you never taken any lessons?
No, completely self-taught. Just like I said, just soaked all it up. You know, all the different types of music. I mean, when I was a kid, all I would listen to is Maiden. And Steve actually told me one day, he was like, "Look, if you want to do this properly, you've got to stop listening to us and listen to other things." You know, and he gave me a stack of things to listen to, which then just changed everything. I started listening to more different types of music and obviously, being a session drummer, you have to do that. So I'm very grateful for that. But I appreciate what you're saying, man. That means a lot. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I just soak it all up. I love just, you know, at the end of the day, drums is an expression, and it's all about a groove. And you can play a groove if you can sit there and groove, you can play in different types of genres. It doesn't have to be just one genre, because, you know, you could get groove players doing jazz and pop and rock and metal and all the different types of music. So I'm interested. I always want to just play as much as I can, different types of music. I just want to just do as much as I possibly can, you know, just put everything into it. So
of course. Do you find obviously playing live is such an important thing for musicians? People do get a lot of pleasure from the experience of being on stage. But you are high caliber drummer that does a lot of studio work, and in order to do studio work, you kind of have to be really good as well, because, you know, a lot of times, you know, people go unprepared to the studio, and even though nowadays we have technology that can support us, there's a big difference between someone that can really play the drums and somebody that goes there and just like records, and then people just fix it afterwards on Pro Tools. Do you yourself find? I mean, is that something that emotionally and physically changes for you in terms of the excitement of being involved on a recording project versus a live project per se?
I think that's a really interesting point, actually, because like some drummers are like one more than the other. Some people like being in the studio more than being out on the road, and vice versa. But I love both elements of it. I love the creation. I love the creativity element of being in the studio and being like, what's going to come out next, and what's going to, you know, I like being under pressure. I like kind of not over rehearsing things and not being too, because I find that what comes out of me instinctually is always most of the time the best bit. You know, it captures something special. So I love being in the studio, always have done. And again, just recording with different people. I worked out the other day, I think I've been on 36 albums.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
So, which I completely, you know, because you forget about different sessions you've done. Some things don't even ever see the light of day, you know. But and obviously some do. But no, I love tapping into that. Like you said, the emotional part of being in the studio is like anything can happen, and I love that feeling. With live, you know, obviously you get into the momentum of everything's like quite streamlined and stuff, but I like being in the studio where it's like, oh, okay, nothing's down yet, but what's going to come out today, you know, in this session, what's going to come out? It's exciting to kind of know and to find out like how it ends up, you know, and then getting the finished product and stuff. So
do you get a little bit nervous before like a session or going live?
No, not at all. It's weird. It's like I'm quite in real life, I'm not like a nervous person, but I'm not a confident person at all, really, when in like real life. But the only time I ever feel quite confident and not nervous is when I'm just behind a drum kit. You know, it's kind of like a safety net for me, I think that's why I like being a drummer, because you've got that kit in front of you, you're behind something, so you kind of got that barrier. So yeah, I don't ever really get like nervous. Obviously you get the butterflies and stuff, but you feed off of that. That's not like a nervous energy. You use that to your advantage, you know.
For you to maintain technique and precision and to keep on top of what you want to do at the best of your capacity when it comes to playing the drums, do you follow a particular routine? Do you have anything that you like? I mean, this week I have to go through all of those regiments, or it depends on what's happening on your agenda? Or I have recording sessions this week, so I'm going to focus more on this. I'm going to play a few gigs on the weekend, so I'm going to focus a bit more on stamina, and I'm going to do different exercises in order to get that. How do you keep yourself up and ready to just basically go and smash it?
I mean, to be honest with you, mate, I don't know any rudiments. I don't know, because I was never taught. I don't know any kind of, I know very little about actual, like, the rudiments and drums and stuff. And I just know what I can do and whatnot, and always trying to pick up stuff. But yeah, I don't really, it's odd, like, because I grew up when I got my kit, shortly after I got my drum kit when I was like 4, my mum and dad divorced. So my kit then went to live with my dad, and I only saw my dad once a fortnight. So I never had the luxury of playing drums every day. I never have. I've never been able to just go and play drums every day. I learned songs by tapping on my legs and then go and translate it onto a drum kit, because that's how I used to do it when I was a kid, and I still do that to this day. When I'm learning songs, I don't sit at a drum kit and learn them. I just listen to it, take it all in, and just sit there with, because when I was a kid, I was like, well, what have I got? I haven't got a kit, but I've got my hands and I've got my legs. So I'll just do that. But I feel like, I don't know, I'm incredibly lucky. Look, I don't know if I want to sound like I'm, like, you know, blowing my, I'm not, I'm the last person to ever do that. But I don't, keeping my chops up and stuff is not something I've ever, I just kind of go in and do it. It's a kind of natural thing. I kind of just go and sit on a kit, and it kind of just happens. Like, and I'm sure one day it will fail me. It will just, I'll have a terrible day or whatever. But yeah, I kind of just, like I said, I feed off of, like, the energy of, like, it not being completely 100%. Because I mean, obviously, I'm always well prepared for any gig I do, because I'm always have to be prepared. You know, I can't go in and just blag it. It's not like that. But I do like leaving a little bit to, like, oh, that could go anywhere. You know what I mean? So
you're still human after all. Right?
Well, yeah, totally. But I don't. I don't sit there and practice rudiments on a pad, or, you know, I don't really warm up for gigs. I like being the first song going in and, like, dry. I like that feeling. Maybe when I get older, I'll probably have to start doing when my joints start going or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, no, I just I kind of just au naturel it, really.
That's amazing.
But that's how I learned. You know, everything was just, you know, that's just how I am as a person, and how I came about to playing drums. You know, I was never, you know, I never had any lessons.
It's
so,
really, I mean, I think a lot, you know, people talk about dedication, and which is, I think, really important on anything that you do in life, but also the aspect of, like, having, people use the word talent, and talent is, you know, basically having the capacity to do stuff and learn things on not so favorable conditions, let's put it this way. Not saying that you are not under favorable conditions, but when you didn't have the drum kit in the house all the time to practice, and just like you said now, in order to learn stuff, you just do it with your hands. So you found the way to navigate adversity in order to perform, and then having not the facility, but, like I said, the talent to just go and sit on the drum kit, because people are obviously different and have different ways of approaching any instrument, really, and music in general. But I always find it amazing when I talk to musicians like yourself that can do what you do. Because I remember clearly when I was still singing myself, I could never, like, go on stage without warming up. And I know singers that will do that nowadays. They will jump on stage and the voice just comes out of them, and it's just like, what? How on earth? And there's people that will warm up for a couple of hours. So there's all those different elements that I think it's down a lot to how the brain is wired, physiology. You know, how can you explain, right? Why can you just do what you do? You know,
I think everyone has their own ways of doing things, and there's no right or wrong way. It's just whatever works for you. It's like, I'm a very kind of just laid back guy, and it's like, well, that kind of comes out, because I'm not like, oh, I've got to do this. I just kind of go, well, I have faith and trust in myself that I'll do what's needed, required for the job, and And also, like, I'll always just say yes to everything, and then you'll get to the point. It's like my first. I joined a band called Inheaven years ago. It was my first professional job. It was about 10 years ago now, and I lied and said I could play to a click track. I'd never played to a click track in my life, but I wanted the gig. So you say yes, and then you go, right, well, say yeah, and deal with it later, and deal with it when it comes to it. So, because I didn't want, if I said no, I wouldn't have got the gig. So I said yes, and then was like, right, okay, put the in-ears in and press go, and just hope that your tempos are okay, and I
How
got
did
the
that
gig,
go?
which was great.
You got the gig.
I got the gig, yeah. So it's like, if I'd said no, I wouldn't have got it. So you say yes, and you kind of go, right, okay, I'm just going to work towards that. There's a point here I need to work towards, and that's what I'm going to do. So you just do whatever you can. But like I said, I'm very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that I get to do this for a living, and I get to play for the people I do, and continue to be asked to play for people. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful.
I think it's really really cool what you just said, because I mean, a lot of the things that people sometimes don't understand is that you have to take chances in life. You really have to believe in your gut, but sometimes you just have to deliver something, be that on an email or on a conversation, and just say, listen, I can handle this, I can do it. But because a lot of bureaucracy, that not a lot in music, I suppose, but in life there's so much bureaucracy, and when it comes to something so human as music, right? I mean, you're performing an instrument, you're playing an instrument, you're singing, you're playing the drums. It's an expression of Homo sapiens, of this creature that we call ourselves, that
exactly, yeah,
makes us us. And a lot of people think that they shouldn't be in a position of having to prove themselves in particular ways when they are asked questions. And I think if you truly believe in yourself, you will put yourself forward for anything, and you're going to say yes, and you're going to probably say yes to a lot of things that you might not even be particularly 100% inclined to do, but you know that that's going to be good for you in a way or another. You have that instinct on you, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's key. It's key, because you just got to take everything that comes and deal with it. Like, I'm doing some shows for a band called Headspace later in the year, which is Adam Wakeman's band. He's the Black Sabbath and Ozzy's keyboard player, and it's got members of Devin Townsend and other, it's real pure, proper prog music. And you're listening to it, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Darby Todd played drums on it, so he's an unbelievable drummer, And I got offered it, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then you listen to it and stuff, and you're like, wow, this is going to be some serious homework. But you say yes, and you work on it. I know I probably won't be able to do a lot of what Darby's doing, but I'll have my own inflection on it, and I'll do what I do, and you just got to have faith and in the knowledge that they asked me for a reason, which is very nice. I'm very grateful for that, and you go and do your gig, and then and most gigs you do will turn into other things, or other projects, or you just got to be on people's radars and just be. You want to be the guy that people call, So,
absolutely.
Which I try. Which like I said, I'm lucky enough to have been that guy for a while. So yeah.
In our line of work, you can't just submit your CV, right? You just kind of
you absolutely, mate. You know that more than anyone, because you're out there smashing it, doing so much for so many different bands. It's admirable. It's inspirational. It's amazing. And that's the same for me. We're in the same industry, but we've got different roles, but we're doing the same. You do the same thing.
Absolutely. You have to be out there, and it's a lot of. Like you said, it's how people perceive you, isn't it? We were just actually having this conversation last night about how people. Well, what's the word out there about this individual, isn't it? There's a lot to do with your capacity as a professional, but there's a lot to do with your character as well, and what kind of vibes you bring to the room, into the room.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot about energy, and because all it takes is one person slightly not on the same wavelength for which it's difficult to get everyone on the same wavelength. It is very, very difficult to get that. You would know that more than anyone. But at the same time, if things start to go a bit odd, like I just always make sure that there's never any problem. You know, whoever I'm working with, you're never gonna. I'm not going to cause any trouble. You know, I'm not an annoying drunk or like, you know, just I'm on time. And it's almost like the best thing you can do is almost make sure that people don't even realize you're there. But they know you're there, but they don't ever have to turn around and be like, oh, it's just like, because everything's just streamlined. And it's like, you don't even have to worry about that. You don't even have to talk to mention anything or what. He's there doing his thing. He's not a problem, you know?
Yeah.
So, and obviously, you know, making good impressions. But the thing is, that's not something I've worked at. You know, that's the easy part. The hard bit is being good at what you do and getting the gigs and stuff. But just not being an arsehole, you know, that's the easy part.
Yeah,
you know, absolutely. I don't have to work. I'm not working at that. You know, I'm working at everything else.
Of course,
but,
of course.
A lot of people fuck that bit up. You know.
Have you been involved in any projects, like any of your past bands that you worked with, that you toured with, that you're not involved anymore, that you wished it had carried on, that you had like a more lengthy career with? And if that happened, why did you parted ways with them, or why did you? Why the band ceased to exist? Because I think Inheaven still are they still?
No, they're not. No. We split up in like 2018, I think it was. But the singer and the bass player have got their own project going on now. But that was a great experience for me, because it was my first professional thing. We did like American tours and loads of like Glastonbury and Reading and all the proper festivals, and we did all that stuff for about 3 years, toured everywhere, and it was great, and it was a really good experience because I needed that. I'd never toured America before, and but the band had kind of run its course, and same sort of thing, you know, major label stuff, and then getting dropped, and you know, and it's you know, part of the process, you know. A lot of people have been through that. So, but it gave me massive touring experience, and it gave me connections. You know, I met a lot of people along the way that I still get work from now, and stuff. So, but really, I mean, I think, to be honest with you, obviously that first band I was in, the Worldonfire, you know, I miss playing with those guys because that was my first proper band. That was my baby back then, you know, and then like we haven't done anything for quite some time now, but we've been chatting about maybe doing something else, you know, just for a laugh, to see what happens. But I miss kind of being a session drummer. It's very rare that you're in a room with a few musicians and you're just bouncing ideas off each other and writing songs together. That I do miss that element, of course. But unfortunately that doesn't pay the bills.
Exactly, yeah.
So you know, you've got to, you know, obviously, if I've got time to do that in my free time, I will still do it because I love that. But I don't get to do that so much as much as I'd like to. But yeah, unfortunately, you know, you know,
have to pay the bills. Yeah,
I've got to keep clothes on my back and food in my belly. So
true. Joe, you drummed for Voodoo Sixand, didn't you?
Yes,
you did drum for Voodoo Sixand. And
yeah,
were you the drummer when which year they toured with Maiden? Was
2013 Maiden England tour. Yeah,
right. So what happened to Voodoo Sixand? Because there was a lot of momentum that back then with Tony and you behind the drum kit and touring with Maiden, and the band did like headlining shows in Europe as well. But then it kind of like faded away. I mean, I didn't hear about.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like, so Luke, the singer, had to leave the band for like personal reasons, and we kind of struggled to kind of keep it going, the momentum. You know what it's like. It's like, you know, it's if when things are going, you've got to keep that momentum going, and you've got to make everything count, everything you're doing, and it kind of just it kind of crumbled away a little bit, and then, you know, we were all busy doing our own thing. Like Matt Pierce started his own solo band, and obviously I joined that band Inheaven as well. So at that time, not long after, about a year or two after the Maiden tour, so I was away a lot, and Tony was working for Maiden a lot. He was away a lot, and now obviously me and Tony play for Phil Mogg from UFO, so we have that. So it's not dead in the water. It's still there. It's just finding the time to make something happen. And actually, weirdly enough, I went to meet a friend for lunch earlier today, and a Voodoo Sixand came on my shuffle, and I was like, oh God, I haven't heard this for quite a while. And I was like, oh, it'd be great to do another gig with the guys, London show, or just get in a room again. It's just getting everyone together, because we're all doing our own things, and it's actually hard to get us all in the same room. It's difficult, but it's not. We're not like split up or anything. It's just on a kind of hiatus until something happens.
Of course,
but we'd all love to do something. It's just logistically it's difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no, I love playing in that band.
It's hard to like you said, because a lot of being in I don't want to say Voodoo Six was a newcomer, but in a way like a newish band, starting up and then doing recordings and then getting an album out there and touring and all of that. To keep going, it's very difficult, because obviously it's like opening your own business, isn't it? I mean, even though you'd like, people don't really understand the finances behind it, because even though you're touring with Maiden, I mean, after that you go on a smaller tour, you're going to be making less money. But then what happens on the next 5-6 months?
Exactly.
You will have to do something in order to survive, and then life will maybe take you other routes. The next thing it's 6 months, it's 8 months, it's 12 months, and you haven't played with the guys, and the band hasn't done anything. But it's like, how could you just be focused on that when that is not 100% sustainable?
Exactly. It's the lifelong thing of like, being in the band, trying to make it work, and everyone having to bring money in to live, but trying to set aside time, afford time to it, to keep it going. But sometimes it just, it has to take a back seat, and it has done for some time now. But like I said, we'd all love to make something happen again, but it's just difficult. Everyone's got to earn a living, and it's keeping sustainable. I mean, like that Maiden tour didn't make any money. We broke even, just about. I mean, because it's so expensive to tour. Back then, even how expensive it is to be on the road now. It's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we were to get something going again, it would be just maybe like the odd gig or another album or whatever. But it's interesting to see though, because I've had quite a lot of people message me and say like, what's happening? Are you still together? I would like to hear some stuff. So still
remember.
It's still still in people's minds, which is nice. It's always nice to hear. So
definitely.
But yeah, they're a great band and great guys.
Do you ever feel like I think you're very privileged, because you're involved in so many different projects, so you get to tour and then you go and do some studio work, and then you go for instance, you've been working with Mike and Dave Lombardo on the Empire State Bastard band project, whatever you want to describe that, and then you get to tour with like Mr. Bungle, and you hang with all these guys, and those are connections that are very valuable, and
100%,
and it only happens because you're very open to, like you said, to saying yes to things. Because a lot of people would say, oh, am I going to be the drummer in a band? Oh, if I'm not the drummer, I'm not interested in having that experience and meeting these people, and going out and working with them on a different capacity. And I think it's so amazing, because I've done that myself in many different ways on my life, like always saying yes, and always being like, if I don't go out there and don't get paid, but I'm going to be missing the opportunity, and I think there's a lot of musicians, at least on my experience, with people that I worked, that I played music with in the past, people are constantly waiting on like, okay, but how much am I going to make out of this? Am I going to get paid for this? I'm like, well, it's not exactly, well, but then call me next time. And then I see a lot of people just like not understanding because they're not going anywhere. And then, and it's like, you have to really find the way, have another gig, have a side job, to pay for the bills for a period. Like you said, very lucky us, luck favors, the prepared, I would say, you know. So you worked really hard, and then you get to make a living out of something that you love, you know. But it takes time, you know.
It does.
It
does take a lot of time.
It's not.
And it's like it's the point you just hit on there about, you know, I'm not like, I'll go out, like I said, when I was asked to drum tech for Dave Lombardo, I was like, yeah, like, I mean, I've never set up 2 kick drums before and a drum kit like that before in my life, but yeah, I'll do it, you know. I was just like, at an hour before he turned up to the rehearsals, I was like Googling photos of him, like being like, I don't play double kick. I never have, or 2 kick drums. You know, I was like, I don't even know how far apart you have them. I have no idea. Like, so I was Googling photos of Dave Lombardo, being like, trying to work out how close he has them. And obviously he's such a sweetheart. He's so patient with me. Lovely, lovely guy. And yeah, of course, like, I'm not, you know, some drummers will be like, oh, I'm not a drum tech, I'm a drummer. It's like, well, no, it doesn't work that way. It's like, you know, I'm not above being a drum tech. If I'm out on tour earning money in any capacity, I'm grateful for that. You know, there's no problem with that at all. And like I say, even working for someone like Dave Lombardo as well is like an amazing thing, you know. And
absolutely.
I was very grateful to him that he brought me out on that Mr. Bungle tour, and yeah, it was like.
And you're
great.
Constantly learning. You're still working with drums. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not that you're now working, I don't know, in a warehouse or something. You know?
Well, you never stop learning in anything you do. So, and I'm again, my mind's still just like taking it all in, like learning. Like, you know, I love that. I love being taught stuff. You know, I love that.
That tour looked so much fun because I mean, I love Mr. Bungle, and like
it was just mad. Like, I had a day off in Oslo, and Mike Patton invited me out on a boat trip with him. I
saw that. Wow.
And I was like, this is madness. How have I ended up here? You know? But such a lovely guy. Really, really lovely guy. And I had so much fun with those guys. So, yeah. But, yeah, just this is what I mean. Like, my job has taken me to weird and wonderful places in strange situations with people, like, that you'd be like, how the hell have I got to here? But, you know, I'm very, like I said, I'm very grateful for it.
Is it like Empire State? Is it like a real band? Do they intend to keep on recording and touring? Was it just a one-off?
No. They're an active band. Obviously, Mike and Simon. Well, Simon's obviously the main guy, and Biffy Clyro. They're when they're on touring schedules, you know, when they're on their touring cycle, it's just Biffy. But then when they're not, you know, Simon and Mike will do the tunes for Empire State Bastard. So it's still a thing for sure. It's just that now they're going into kind of Biffy cycle, so it might be a while before, but they will come back to it for sure. Again, amazing band, great players.
Yeah, the record is really good.
Yeah, definitely. Naomi's an amazing bass player, and obviously Dave's amazing. Tom, who fills in for Dave sometimes, is also brilliant. And again, they're just lovely people to be on the road with. Really, really nice, and it's just so easy going, which you know,
very important.
Very, very important for the mind.
Absolutely. Joe, do you when you're at home, when you're not on the road, like when you're at home, do you follow any particular morning routines? Are you like a night owl? Do you go to bed early? What's your normal schedule?
I like to I like to sleep. I do love my sleep. I've turned into a bit of I used to go to bed relatively early, but I kind of find myself going to bed a bit later and later. But I still like to get up with the natural sunlight. I always have my curtains open. I like to wake up to the sun. I feel like it gets, obviously I know we don't get that much sun here in this country, but when we do, like, I think it kind of sets me in good stead for the day. Once I don't know, I just feel mentally, and I wake up quicker that way, and I'm just like ready for the day. I like a morning walk. I like to go on a walk. It clears the mind, so you're kind of ready for what the day is going to throw at you. But yeah, that's that. You know, not apart from that, I'm a pretty boring bastard, really.
Do you drink coffee or have breakfast after you get up, or how does that work?
I'm more of a brunch guy. I don't have an appetite in the mornings. When I wake up, I'm not hungry at all. So I eat a bit later on. But I like some poached eggs. on toast, or even a bit of cereal or something. But I was late to the coffee game, very, very late. I didn't drink hot drink. I never drank hot drinks until about a year or two ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No tea whatsoever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I never drank hot drinks. Yeah, it's just didn't do anything for me. And then I was on a tour and someone was like, "Oh, I think I've got a gateway for you," and then gave me a mocha because into the gateway into coffee, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm sold. That's great." And now I'm kind of like moving up level by level, but I'm just so late to the party. Yeah.
I love it. I love coffee.
I have arrived.
You have arrived.
Yeah.
Interesting, because obviously England being so cold, it's just so part of the culture to like have a cup of tea and just, keep yourself warm. I mean, I love coffee. I really, really do. I think it's so good. Like for me in particular, it's just, I mean, I drink it up until a certain time of the day because I don't want to have an influence on the quality of my sleep later at night, because it takes like 8 to 12 hours for the caffeine to, leave your organism. But yeah, I mean, I think that like it's a good thing. And the moment that you I start drinking, I don't know if you're doing it already, but like drinking like black, like a good cup of black coffee, man, it gives you a kick.
Yeah,
you're gonna play the drums even faster.
Oh man, totally. Yeah, I've yet to delve into the dark black stuff. Just to
love it.
I think I'll get there eventually, but yeah, I'm not ready for that yet. I don't think. I mean, but I'm looking forward to feeling the rush, because I've never really had that before. I can't, because I've never had like an espresso or just a black. I've never had that before. Mm-hmm. So, and you can see it on people like getting like ready to go. It's like Dave Lombardo loves his black coffee. He loves his proper coffee. Mm-hmm. He would make fresh pots. Fresh pot.
Very
on the bungle on the bus. Yeah, he loves that. Yeah. Obviously he's Cuban. So he definitely loves his coffee.
Yeah, amazing. Funny story with Dave at Download. Which year was that the Empire played? Was it last year? Or
was that when I saw you backstage?
Yes. Yeah.
I
think it was last year, wasn't it? Or the year before?
I think so. I think it might have been maybe.
No, it was 2023. 2023. So the year before last.
Okay.
It was really funny because I was there with Taipei Houston with Miles and Lane Ulrich.
Yeah.
And then backstage at one point, it was Dave. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but it was myself and a good friend of mine, Vinny. He's a guitarist, tall dude, long hair. And then I think Dave said, "Oh, but then what are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm here with Taipei Houston." Oh, you. He thought I was. My mate. Oh, you guys are amazing, and say hello to your dad. I have so many great stories with your dad, and he didn't even let me talk. And I'm like, okay, Lars is not my dad, but okay, I'll pass on the message.
Yeah. We didn't get too far into the conversation. It's too late for me
to say anything. Exactly.
Yeah.
So much fun.
We've all been there.
But he was so so nice. I've never, such a
so nice.
Like, I mean, the interact. It was a very small interaction, but I could tell that he was so down to earth and chill, and his face was very calm and excited, and about music.
Exactly. Yeah, no, he's so passionate about it, about music, and also just having a good time. He's such a joy to be around. Always got a smile on his face, always cracking jokes, and like he's got such an infectious laugh. When he starts laughing, it just brightens your day up. You
gotta have those people around.
Wonderful man.
Joe, do you have nowadays, like, are there any particular bands, new bands that you're listening to? Anyone that you like, that you really like see it? I mean, making it in a way on the next 3 to 5 years. Is there anyone on your radar that you're like, wow, those guys are?
That's a good question, actually. My finger has not been on the pulse of the music scene for quite some time. I'm not very good at keeping up with what's going on, but I think
Mm. It could be anything, or even like.
What have I been listening to? I tend to. Do you know what, mate? It's. I tend to just go back and just listen to. I don't listen to very much new stuff.
And I guess you got so many projects as well, so you kind of keep listening to the artists that you're working with as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Ideas.
That's the thing as well. It's like, sometimes I like just a bit of silence because I've just been learning songs all day, and I don't want to just go and listen to. And it's because you're not in the right frame of mind for it. You're just like, oh, I've been learning songs all day. I won't, whatever this is, even if it's good, I won't enjoy it because I just want a bit of peace and quiet.
Do you have a drum kit at home now?
No.
So when you need to practice, where'd you go to practice?
Well, there's a studio I use that's up in Essex that I will go and do bits and pieces if I need to go and just let it out or play along to something or do some drum videos. Mm-hmm. There's a kit there I have there. That I use, so it's but the thing is that I've done a lot of recording so far this year, but not so much touring so far. But last year and the year before that, I was away so much that I was playing all the time anyway. So whenever I was home, I just wanted to chill. I didn't really want to play drums,
Yeah.
So but yeah, I mean, what got me playing drums was listening to music and playing it, because that was probably good for my tempo and things like my inner tempo as well, because when you've got your headphones on and you're playing, it's like you're playing in the band. Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like to me when I was starting out. I felt like, I'm playing in the band here because I can hear everything else and I'm playing along to it. Mm. So when I started doing drum videos, I just did it just because I wanted to just play some of my favourite songs and enjoy it. It's fun to play along to music. I really enjoy that. And I didn't use it as I didn't think it was a social media tool or anything like that to start with at all. I just did it because of just for me, just for a laugh, And then it started. Some of my videos got some crazy views, like 1 million views or something, and I'm like, wow, this is. How has this happened? This is mad. Cool. And then I was like, oh, okay, so I can actually use this as a way to get work, which it has been the case. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't the plan to start with at all. I was just like, I just want to go and play some of my, I set my phone up, I can do that, and then just make it on iMovie. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll just do it, And it's just for fun. Because I hadn't played, like I said, I'd spent 3 years playing with Inheaven, that stuff, and I didn't get to play any the songs I used to love playing. So I thought, I'm just going to go back and do that for a bit, just for me, for my own.
And you've got good memory, right? Because I was talking to you yesterday about songs that and you're like, dude, I can play all of the songs that you just mentioned, and so those things are basically, they get very much. You don't really have to kind of keep. I don't know if the word would be reviewing, but there's certain songs that you probably played so much or heard so much that they're just drilled in your brain. They just come on auto.
Exactly, yeah, just totally ingrained. I find I feel like the analogy I use is my brain is like a hard drive, and I'll delete bits of common sense and everyday brain capacity in order for me to just go to the shops and remember what I need to get for dinner. Delete that and replace it with some drum beats and some songs, because that's more important. That's what it's like. That's what I think it's like. That's very
cool. I mean, on that topic, that's very interesting what you said. Do you practice any kind of meditation? Are you someone that reads, or you're interested in spirituality or the mind? And does that have any role in your life these days?
Not per se. I'm very fascinated by the whole spirituality and meditation and yoga and things like that. I'm fascinated by it. I haven't tried it myself yet, but I've always found it difficult to take in. See, I can audiobooks and stuff like that and podcasts I can take in, but reading a book, reading the words on the page, it just doesn't penetrate as much as hearing someone speak or watching a movie or something. I don't know why that is. I think my brain is constantly just maybe it's just like the filing cabinet has got all those drum beats in, and it's kind of like buffering just to make sure that you still know everything, and it's flickering about that I can't focus on. I've tried my hardest, even like books on autobiographies of my heroes, where I'm like, I'm going to be really interested in everything they've got to say. I read a page and I'm like, no, I have no idea what they just said. I have to read it again. It takes me like, at this rate, it's going to take me like 6 years to finish a book. So, so what's the point? You know? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's an ADHD thing. I don't know. I have no idea.
Good thing that we have audiobooks nowadays, right? So you can actually just listen to them. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love podcasts. I mean, podcasts for me, they are like, wow. The way that we consume information, it has changed so much and so dramatically. And you can really like learn about so many different things and different topics just by listening to podcasts, really, you know. And
absolutely.
Whereas before you would have like a pair of headphones or earphones and be constantly listening to music, nothing wrong with that. But nowadays, sometimes I just realize myself, like sometimes I'm listening to, I don't know, this playlist forever, you know, and it's like, how many hours have I spent listening to? May I just perhaps try and listen to something different that might add to my intellect somehow instead of just listening, you know? And I think podcasts do serve and fill that page really, really well. You know, they're amazing stuff. I mean, when I first started listening to them, I was like, wow, this is a crazy format. And it's just taking off more and more. Obviously, there's a lot of people that have been doing it, like the pioneers as on any other kind of industry or anything really in life, you know, like Joe Rogan and Tim Ferriss, those guys, they've been doing it forever. And those are the guys that literally rode the first wave. But this is just going to keep on growing. It's just like, you know, a free flow conversation. It's not like this conversation. This is not like an interview. You know what I mean? It's like we're having a chat. You know what I mean? It's great.
Totally. It's just all. I love that. It's just natural speech and conversation and discussion and debate. It's just like, but you can. What I love about podcasts is just they can be for any time of the day. It can be if you want to chill out and relax, they can soothe you and calm you down. If you want to really learn about something, you can really get stuck into it. Or if you've just got one on while you're cooking dinner, or you know what I mean. There's so much for it, and I think they're great.
You mentioned going to the shop to grab stuff for dinner and stuff, and now you mentioned dinner again. Do you cook for yourself, like?
I'm not a great cook, mate. I wish I was, but I'm really not. My mum, bless her, she was an awful, awful cook. So I grew up with no knowledge on how to cook food at all. My dad's a really good cook, but obviously I didn't spend much time with him growing up. So, but my mum's just always had guys who were really good cooks, but it didn't really go on to me. So I let's just put it this way. I think I order too much food. I use the apps way too much.
Oh yeah,
and the food apps, not the apps everyone else is talking about. Yeah. You know,
but you're very slim. You're always like, you have always been slim, and like you never like really changed throughout the years. And I guess you must be doing something right in terms of like how you keep, you know, maintain yourself. Because a lot of people that basically get takeaways and deliveries, it tends to be more on the junk side of things, isn't it? Like pizza and burgers and high caloric foods with not a lot of nutrition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, obviously, you know, living in London, the selection is a lot better. You know, you can. It's obviously not the healthiest you can have, but there are healthier options to be able to. It's not like you order at McDonald's and things like that. You know, But yeah, I suppose, I mean, like, I'm always an active guy. I think that helps. I'm always out and about doing stuff. And I think, maybe I've just got a good, I mean, obviously Steve is slim, has always been slim. And like that gene in the family maybe has gone on to, I don't know. But also, drumming, you know, it's a cardio workout at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I
remember wearing my iWatch for a Hi-on Maiden gig once, and I burnt 1,600 calories.
Wow!
In a gig.
What was how long was the gig?
It would have been 2.5 hours.
That's not bad. Wow, 1,600.
Because I sweat a lot. I sweat so much when I play, and so I mean, if you think about it, I mean that's like. it's going to the gym, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
so it's,
totally.
I'm not like I've got no like muscle on me at all, but that's probably what keeps me slimmer, because I'm constantly burning
Yeah.
what's going on. So
For
so yeah, but that's probably what it is. If I was a guitarist, I might be really fat. Who knows?
Joe, what do you do to unwind? What's the perfect lazy day on your books?
Oh, mate, I love just binging like TV series one after the other. I don't know about you, but when there's a new series out and it's just one episode a week, I can't stand that. I have to watch it all in one go. I can't. It drives me mad.
Yeah.
So whenever something comes out, I'm like, no, I'm not interested until it's all there.
Same.
And then I just go bang, 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 because I like to be engrossed and I like to just know what's going to happen next.
For sure.
I hate being left in the lurch like that. It's so yeah. I'm a man of simple pleasures. You know, I like when I'm just doing nothing. I like just chilling out and just a bit of TV or an audio book or even going on a walk. Like where I live there's plenty of parks and stuff, and it's especially. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the weather's starting to take a turn for the better.
Jeez, please, it's April nearly.
I know.
Almost.
I know. Hopefully we'll have a better summer than last year. We were robbed last year, absolutely robbed.
Summer that never was.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, thanks very much, man, for your time. I have one.
Thank you for having me, mate. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your kind words as well.
Oh, brother. I mean, you're a hardworking guy. You're very talented, and honestly, I just wish you all the absolute best. And wherever I go, and you're one of the people that, like we were talking about. I mean, I only have great things to say, and would always, vouch for your drumming, capacity and quality and expertise, and for your character as well, for being such a, cool, chill person and hardworking. That's you got.
Thank you, man. That means so much.
You take all the boxes.
That's so kind. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
One last question: if you could choose anyone, dead or alive, to have dinner with, for like a couple of hours, that you would just sit down with this person and you're just gonna have a meal and have a drink and talk whatever you want, who would that person be?
Oh, that is such a good question, man. Oh, wow.
It's a good one, but it's a tough one as well.
It is a tough one. Oh, man. I would say John Bonham, but I know that he didn't really like to talk about drums. He just liked to talk about cars, and I don't know anything about cars. So I don't think that conversation would go very well. You know who I'd love to have sat down and just, who's got such a charismatic, like, presence, and just, I feel like I would just have a great time with, and I would get a lot out of just having a conversation with Prince.
Wow. Okay.
I would love to have sat down and had a conversation and a night out with Prince. I feel like I would become a better person, and I would be just much more enriched in every way. I feel like that guy was just an absolute genius. He's at everything. And I feel like all those interviews, he's got something so profound to say and so enlightening. I feel like he's my guy, I think, yeah.
Dude, that was such a great answer. I loved it. Yeah. I mean, I would have loved to hear about it,
Yeah. God, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Joe, brother, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And
thank you, mate.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Take care, brother.
Cheers, man.
Ciao. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation, this podcast, as much as I did doing it. So if that's the case, please do follow on Instagram at rollercoastercarl, myself at Carl Casagrande, on Twitter, same thing, Facebook, same thing. Do subscribe. Do subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Spotify. That's very, very much appreciated. Thank you, and have a great, great day. Cheers. Bye-bye.